Hello and Namaste. Welcome to Edison Nepal, a dedicated YouTube channel that serves you interesting social, historical and natural aspects of Nepal, including other fascinating information. Please like, share and subscribe and provide your feedback in the comment section below. This video is the first part of a series where we will be sharing the information on the politics in Nepal. Before we jump into the politics, we must know how the politics began in Nepal. In this first episode of the series, let's find out about the political history of Nepal. The political history of Nepal began in and around the Kathmandu Valley. Over the centuries, Nepal's boundaries have extended to include huge tracts of neighboring India and contracted to little more than the Kathmandu Valley and a handful of nearby city-states. Though it has ancient roots, the modern state of Nepal emerged only in the 18th century. Squeezed between the Tibetan Plateau and the plains of the subcontinent, the modern-day giants of China and India, Nepal has long prospered from its location as a resting place for traders, travelers and pilgrims. A cultural mixing pot, it has breathed cultures and absorbed elements of its neighbors, yet retained a unique character. Power that ruled Nepal in chronological order. Number 1. The Kiratis and the Buddhist beginnings. Number 2. Licchavis, Thakuris, then the darkness. Number 3. The golden age of the Mallas. Number 4. Unification under the Shahas. Number 5. The Rana regime. Number 6. Restoration of the Shahas. Number 7. People's power. Number 8. Democracy and the Maoist uprising. Number 9. Royal troubles. And the number 10. Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal. Let's begin with the Kiratis and the Buddhist beginnings. The Kiratis and the Buddhist beginnings. Nepal's recorded history kicks off with the Hindu Kiratis. Arriving from the east around the 7th or 8th century BC, these Mongoloid people are the first known rulers of the Kathmandu Valley. King Yalambar, the first of their 29 kings, is mentioned in the Mahabharata, the Hindu epic, but little more is known about them. In the 6th century BC, Prince Siddhartha Gautam was born into the Shakya royal family of Kapilvastu near Lumbini, later embarking on a path of meditation and thought that led him to enlightenment as the Buddha. The religion that grew up around him continues to shape the face of Asia. Around the 2nd century BC, the great Indian Buddhist emperor Asoka visited Lumbini and erected a pillar at the birthplace of the Buddha. Popular legend recounts how he then visited the Kathmandu Valley and erected 4 stupas around Patan. But there is no evidence that he actually made it there in person. In either event, his Mauryan Empire played a major role in popularizing Buddhism in the region, a role continued by the North Indian Buddhist Kushan Empire. Over the centuries, Buddhism gradually lost ground to a resurgent Hinduism, and by the time the Chinese Buddhist pilgrims Fa Xian and Zhuangzang passed through the region in the 5th and the 7th century, the site of Lumbini was already in ruins. Now let's move on to Licchavis, Thakuris, then the darkness. Buddhism faded and Hinduism reasserted itself with the arrival from northern India of the Licchavis. In 300 AD, they overthrew the Kiratis, who resettled in the east and are the ancestors of today's Rai and Limbu people. Between the 4th and 8th centuries, the Licchavis ushered in a golden age of cultural brilliance. The Chaityas and monuments of this era can still be seen at the Changu Narayan temple, north of Bhaktapur, and in the backstreet of Kathmandu's old town. Their strategic position allowed them to prosper from trade between India and China. Amsuvarma, the first Thakuri king, came to power in 602, succeeding his Licchavi father-in-law. He consolidated his power to the north and south by marrying his sister to an Indian prince and his daughter Vrikuti to the great Tibetan king Songtsen Gampo. Together with the Gampo's Chinese wife, Wencheng, Vrikuti managed to convert the king to Buddhism around 640, changing the face of both Tibet and later Nepal. From the late 7th century until the 13th century, Nepal slipped into its dark ages, of which little is known. Tibet invaded in 705 and Kashmir invaded in 782. The Kathmandu Valley's strategic location, however, ensured the kingdom's growth and survival. King Gunakam Dev is credited with founding Kantipur, today's Kathmandu. Around the 10th century, during the 9th century, a new lunar calendar was introduced, one that is still used by Newars to this day. Dear friends, thank you very much for watching this video. As I have mentioned you earlier, this is the first episode of a series brought to you by Edison Nepal on the political history of Nepal. Please watch our next video that continues. Do not forget to provide your feedbacks that helps us serve you better, and we can learn from it for the betterment. This is how everything gets better. We have been very lucky so far, and you have provided tremendous support to us. Thank you once again. Stay tuned.